Welcome again to Optimal Play. I'm still Brandon.
I am still Kyle, unfortunately.
Kyle, we're leading into more of our deep dive discussion of the cards in Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. Get excited because we're talking about your favorite hero and mine this time, Aragorn.
I hear your's really good. I think I'm going to have a lot of good things to say about him.
Yeah, I think we both will.
Okay, great.
No, if you're... we got a dog outside barking. One take, we promise.
One take.
If you're the type of person who only enjoys positive coverage of board games,
skip this week.
At least skip Aragorn. I'm not personally particularly positive. Ooh, that was good alliteration on Aragorn. And I think I was pretty clear about that in the review that's about to play. But I have good news for you. After that, we get into Elena, who is ridiculously good.
Yes.
So, yeah, so, you know,
there'll
be a mid-review turnaround, shut up and sit down style, right?
Here's the bad and the ugly, and then the less bad and ugly.
Maybe even good. We'll find out.
What we say.
Again, if you are enjoying these videos and want to see the next few as they come out, or all the other cool gameplay and stuff that we do on Optimal Play, please subscribe, like the video, comment, find us on social media, follow us there, make all those numbers go up and boost our egos. Yeah.
Nothing better.
Yeah, we're so close to 1 million Instagram followers.
Oh,
you know,
you could be the millionth. Isn't that exciting for you?
So, yeah, while I'm rambling about Aragorn sucking, just, click all those follow buttons. And come back for Elena.
Put on the headphones after that's done.
Yeah, we'll see you after that. Speaking of bad, I think Aragorn's probably the worst character in the game.
Especially at low player counts.
Yeah, right. Let's meet him. He's a human. He has wisdom of 4 is like his 4-point skill. When heroes scout during the rally phase, you and nearby heroes each reveal 1 additional card. And he can hold 4 inspiration, so kind of on the lower end of inspiration capacity. Yeah, Aragorn is bad. Change my mind.
The one good thing I will have to say about him is his ability always works. You know, like you will use his ability every single round, which is not the case with, I think, any other hero to date.
Yeah, that's a good point. No one else just has a passive that just like upgrades the rules of the game like this does.
It's like, hey, I changed the game. I'm always scouting 3, even if I'm playing solo, which I don't think is legal in this game. But yeah,
I think solo is like two-handed. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, it's just that scouting 1 extra is not actually that. So you can only prep 1 card. Right.
Yeah.
So maybe you find a better card to prep, but more likely you prep one of the ones you would have seen anyway. It does let you manipulate the top of your deck a little more.
It does. I feel like that's the better part of it. Maybe.
Yes.
I mean, I think if we, you're an accountant, you do the stats work. If you dig 1 deeper, how much likely are you to see a success or see a bad card that you can bury at the bottom of your deck?
Well, and see, here's the thing. Seeing a success doesn't matter because it was going to be on top anyway. So there's actually no value in digging deeper and it being a success.
Okay, so if you find 2 blank cards and 1 like fate.
Yeah. So the value just comes from being able to put blank, whether they're your weakness or other failure cards, to put those on the bottom of your deck. And I'm going to say it's like a 6. Yeah, I've run the numbers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
like 15 cards. 6 sounds right.
No, I don't know. It is hard to like quantify the value of that. Sure. It could be one of those things that just quietly makes you actually just do a lot better, and you almost don't realize even how much it's helping.
Yeah.
But I doubt it.
No, it's not flashy. I will admit.
No, it's not. And you always have to. Every turn in the rally phase, you have to be like, hey, everyone, remember I'm Aragorn, so you and you draw an extra card.
Thanks, I guess.
It adds a chore to each round where you have to stop and remind everyone to draw an extra card, and then they're like, well, it was a success, I'm just going to leave it on top.
I just feel imagine him yodeling, so any nearby people are like, yeah, okay, I hear that. It's pretty cool.
Aragorn, renowned yodeler, yeah.
I think that's what he's known for.
And then before we move on about Aragorn being bad, what do you think he does with his wisdom? Wisdom is his main trait. I actually double checked in it because I mean I don't prepare a lot for these card reviews, but I did kind of go in knowing that I was going to be like I was going to trash Aragorn. And I double checked. There are no wisdom weapons. So like it recommends that he starts with a sword.
That's wrong because when you get to level 3 of the sword, it has a wisdom.
Oh, really?
It does.
Oh, so like scenario 10 onwards.
So when the game is already won for you,
Yeah,
or lost, depending which way you went. Yeah, that's when it'll start mattering. But yeah,
and
no,
not when. So his might is 3. So finally, when he gets to the tier 3 sword, it's like +1 to his attack tests. Right?
Yeah, one more draw for him.
And meanwhile, since he has 4 wisdom and 3 wit, he's the one who should be searching and talking to characters and stuff. So, so that I mean, I guess that's what he's the first one we've looked at that combat is not kind of his main strength.
Yeah, he's kind of a well-rounded character. He's one of 2, I think.
Yeah, well-rounded or just rounded towards the non-combat. I don't know if I agree that he's well-rounded, but oh. All right. Well, maybe his cards redeem him a little bit. Want to read us his cards?
Sure. Let me grab them. Wanderer has a fate icon. After you explore a tile, you or a nearby hero may scout 1. Strider, he has 2 copies of this. Success, strike 3 or guard 2. He also has his Thorondil, his sword. Before you test, you may discard the skill to test wisdom instead, and it also has sprint 1. And Gift of Men, innate valor. During your turn, you may discard the skill to discard 1 fear, could be face up or face down, and it has 2 fate icons.
So here it is. Here's where Aragorn's power comes from. He's got another 2 fate icon card.
I was going to say, after reading them all in sequence like that, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
they're not very good.
Yeah, Wanderer.
Wanderer is kind of trash.
I mean, like Scout 1. So it's funny. Adding +1 to Scout, not that good. Scout 1, pretty good, right? Because it can be a whole additional prep.
Yes. But often if you have 3, if you're digging 3 deep, you kind of usually like
you know what's on top of your deck. Yeah.
And you maybe don't want to put them in play.
And I guess you could leave cards. You can use that Scout 3 to stack your deck for another thing you want to prep. Is maybe kind of a combo.
Yeah, if you had Wanderer in play, and you looked at 3 cards, and you're like, oh, I could explore first and then test something with the bad card on top that I can prepare and a success below it. I guess it seems like a lot of work.
Yeah, and I kind of I look at this and I think, okay, so his kit, for lack of a better term, must involve prepping a lot of cards because he's going to get to scout a lot of times, at least if it's a journey map. Not on a battle map. This does nothing.
Nope.
But then I look at his other cards and they're not cards that I really want to crank out onto the table a whole lot.
Nope. I mean, his sword is good. Being able to test his best stat and potentially sprint.
I guess.
It's also a blank that you get out of your deck.
So how much better? We talked about the basic cards, the 5 that just add 1 success to a skill.
Sure.
Aren't those all better than Thorongil? Aren't those basically better than changing what stat you're testing? Because they guarantee +1 success, whereas this is probably +1 card draw to your test, which might be a success.
I mean, if you're testing his agility or spirit, which are both 2, then maybe the 2
that's +2 cards. Even that,
it's probably as good.
Most of the time, I'd rather have a success than 2 cards.
But then the sprint 1 is nice too.
And then I guess, and then this has no success icons on it, so it's worse than the basic card. All right. This is just making me angry. Let's look at it. It's recommended that he be a captain, so at least these better be good. The starting 3 cards are well provisioned. It's a failure of a card. Didn't come out quite the way I meant it. It has no icons on it. And at the start of your turn, you may discard this skill for you and a nearby hero to scout to. And then he has 2 copies of Lead the Charge, which is a success. And says, after you attack, you may discard this skill to gain 1 inspiration and for a nearby hero to also attack. Or it has Strike 2 on it. Okay, these seem good.
Yeah.
Getting to take 1 card and turn it into scouting for you and someone else is just multiplying cards.
Yep. And it starts in play.
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it helps your team get like set up early.
Yeah, like really quick out of the gate is Aragorn, or at least the captain's plan.
It's this kind of thing is how you kill a boss on a battle map in round 1.
Yeah. I can see that now.
Yeah, and then Lead the Charge. She's got 2 copies of it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You have to the ability. I've spoken really highly on like bonus action kind of stuff, but this one is you have to attack and then have a hero nearby you, and then they also have to have a valid attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little more niche than a lot of them.
It is. And it gains an inspiration, which is nice. But yeah, I think it asks a lot of you.
Mm-hmm. All right. How about the 3s?
All right. 3s, all are blank icons. Word of Triumph. When you or a nearby hero test might, you may discard the skill to add 1 success and scout 1. Has Strike 2 on it. Stand Together. At the start of your turn, you may discard the skill for you and each hero in your space to scout 1. It also has Guard 1 on it. And a Fey Mood. After a hero performs a last stand, each hero may prepare 1 skill with Strike, Guard, or Sprint from their discard pile. Thoughts?
I don't think any of these are cards I would prefer in my deck over nothing.
Yeah.
Right. They none of them have icons. I think that probably Word of Triumph is the best because at least it does quite a bit when you like he does attack with might if he has a sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it does quite a bit on attacks, and it does work for other players. So if you're like with a Gimli or something, this does a lot. It adds a success and replaces itself.
I think yeah, I would agree. I think Word of Triumph is the best out of all these. And I think Fey Mood sounds so interesting, but how many times do you think this actually hits at all? Like, after a hero performs a last stand, then people can search their discard piles for things with keywords on it.
Yeah, and your discard pile resets every round.
Yeah.
So if someone, because with counterattacks, you totally could be doing the last stand on your own turn. So if it's like the player who's going second out of 4 is the one doing the last stand test, 2 players don't benefit from this at all.
Nope.
It's okay.
Yeah.
On to the 7s. We'll find a redeeming. I
think when we get to the end of Captain, we'll have redeeming.
Yeah. Okay. Because so far I am still pretty down on everything we've read in the last 5 minutes. Okay. But hey, for 7 XP, you can get Empowering Words. All the 7 XPs have a fate icon. Empowering Words says, during your turn, you may discard this skill and any amount of inspiration. For each inspiration you discard, you or a nearby hero becomes emboldened. Inspiring Presence says, if a nearby hero would gain an inspiration, they may scout 1 or discard 1 face down damage or fear instead. To Me says, at the start of your turn, you may discard this skill for you and each nearby hero to scout 2. And Battle Plan says, when you move into a space with an enemy, you may discard this skill for you and each nearby hero to scout 3. Each hero who prepares a tactic this way gains 1 inspiration, and it has Guard 2. I'm looking at Battle Plan versus To Me, and Battle Plan seems better in every way. Right? Jeez, why would you? I mean, obviously it has Strike versus Guard. Why would you ever buy To Me when Battle Plan exists? They trigger at different times, but Battle Plan is more flexible because it's when you move, so you can move into a spot where everyone's nearby, and then it lets everyone scout.
It's also into a space with an enemy, though.
Oh, that's the difference. I missed that. I'm sure I read it out loud, but my brain didn't miss that part. Okay, so that makes it a little trickier to use. I don't know. Any highlights here for you?
I mean, I think Battle Plan and to me are both pretty good. I think I have played Captain actually as Legolas. I played Captain, and I enjoyed both Battle Plan and to me. The first two I don't even remember like ever reading, so that's how much impression they made on me. Yeah, I don't think either one is great. Embolden is the worst of the boons that you can get because it can just go away if there's no enemy.
Yeah, I've never been terribly excited to become emboldened. Inspiring presence lets someone scout one or discard one face down damage or fear. Some heal. I should just summarize. Instead of gaining the inspiration, it's not like it's in addition to.
Yeah.
I would most of the time rather have the inspiration. There are times when there are times when the scenario serves up a lot or you've been exploring a lot or something and you're at or near your max, and then this is great, but those situations are too niche.
Yeah, not for a level 7.
All right, you promised me good 12s.
All right, and here they are. We have a Wind Among Grass has a success, tactic traded, which mattered for Battle Plan, I think.
That's true.
After you move into a space, you may discard the skill to attack. Then you and each nearby hero may move one space without provoking attacks. Whew. And Master Tactician, a success, also a tactic. At the start of your turn, each hero may discard one prepared skill. Each hero who does scouts 3.
Question. You know how my mind was blown when I played on Tabletop Simulator with you a few weeks ago, and after like 30 plays of this game, I had no idea you could prep weaknesses?
You can also discard weaknesses.
That's what I was going to ask, are they prepared skills? When it says discard a prepared skill, does a weakness count? Yeah?
I believe so. I think anything in those 4 slots are considered prepared skills.
Seems pretty good then.
Yeah. I mean, the Master Tactician is really, because it's each hero, not nearby, no caveats at all. So you basically can be like, oh, I have Master Tactician prepared, so if you don't get what you want on your scout, prepare something that you want to discard, and then you get a brand new scout at the start of my turn.
Yeah, and I've played with an Aragorn with this before. I think either that or it was a multi-class. I don't know if anyone's ever played Aragorn.
I think you're Aragorn in our campaign, right?
No, aren't I Gimli in our campaign?
No, I'm pretty sure you're Aragorn.
That doesn't sound like me.
But it is.
All right, I'll have to go to the tapes on that. It's been a few weeks since we played. I have forgotten. I'm really Aragorn?
I think so. Because I remember
why would I
talking about how bad our choices were because I was Bilbo and I'm trying to get away from you and you're like,
oh,
yeah. Help you with my yodel. we're going for the yodel.
Oh, why would I choose Aragorn? All right. Anyway, so when I've played with Master Tactician at higher player counts, it actually became a pretty interesting element to the turn order. Because if everyone likes their initial rally phase scouts, then they don't really want to scout 3 again right away. So Aragorn should go last. And if more people didn't like their scouts that much, then he should go first and let them manipulate the top of their deck some more before their turns. And then you have the other reasons, whether it's enemies or what, that you might want to consider what the turn order. So that's I really like that design. I thought that creates a really interesting kind of team puzzle. And it's a good card.
Yep. And same thing with a Wind Among Grass. I think that's a great card.
Good name, too.
Yeah, really great. Gets you that extra attack, and then gets free moves for everyone around you, and also can just be sprint too, which is always a great card.
Yeah, and it's right. It's a free attack after you move in, so it's actually. So do you provoke a counter attack with this card, or do you move first? Any idea? Does this let you dart in, take a hit, and get out before you would even be counterattacked? Or is it not quite that good?
I don't think it's that good because I feel like there's not a player window between the time that the app asks you.
Player window. You're such an LCG player. Yeah, you're probably right.
But even if it's, if it is, that's even better. And if it's not, it's still really good.
Yeah, true. Okay. So Captain has 2 good cards. Aragorn has 0.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And then the Aragorn card also isn't good, so it's just don't play Aragorn.
All right. I want to be. I want to bring back some positivity. Give us Elena.
All right. Elena. Her best stat is the useless stat of spirit.
Yeah.
So starting off strong. She's also an elf, like Legolas. She has an inspiration pool of 5. And once per test, after you spend 1 inspiration, a nearby hero gains 1 inspiration.
This is great.
It's so good. It's a high player count.
Yeah. Well, and I guess at higher player count, you're more likely to be nearby a hero, but also in a lower player count, it's like your entire team got inspiration in a 2-player game, right?
Yeah.
Like the way it
get close to the fighter.
The way it scales is like it's just really strong when you're at a low player count too. Yeah, no, I think that at least you're right. Her stats are not the best, but I think her ability is among the best.
Yeah.
Just because your team, your team, your group, your fellowship just like never runs out of inspiration while she's around.
Yes.
With the one caveat of if she runs out of inspiration, then she can't give it to anyone else. So like when you hit that 0 threshold, you grind to a halt even a little worse than usual. But just don't run out.
You don't run out because you also have a harp with her that if you have 0, you get 1.
That's true. Yeah. She is recommended to start with the harp since she's the one. Is she a bard? Would you call her a bard?
I might. Yeah.
She's the character in a fantasy game with a musical instrument. I think that makes her the bard. Yeah. So yeah, she plays her harp and gains inspiration. So when she has 0 inspiration at the start of her turn, she gains 1, or she can give 1 to a nearby, or I think a hero in her space that has 0 inspiration.
I think that's hero. I don't
have so she actually is like the one solution to running out of inspiration. I find it kind of frustrating because I stare at that ability, and whenever you're not running out of inspiration because you're managing your inspiration well, or when your team isn't, you look at that and you're like, well, that ability doesn't trigger all that often.
Yeah.
But the fact that it keeps you from, probably that just means that you could, we could play better than we have. We being not you and me, but the groups I've been playing with could play better and be more willing to spend that last inspiration because Elena's in the team, and maybe we haven't been doing that.
Yep.
She's got some cards.
She does.
They are Child of the Loon. Now that we've seen that card that cares about tactics, I'm seeing how there's a lot of tactics. This is a tactic. When an enemy moves into your space, you may discard the skill to apply 4 hits and stun to that enemy. And it has hide. Elven Light, it's another 2 fate icon card. Before you test Wisdom or Spirit, you may look at the top card of your deck and place it on the top or bottom of your deck. Immortality is rest. Oh, was this in Aragorn's deck?
Yeah, it's like an elf thing.
Oh, it was in Legolas's deck, right? Because it's an elf thing. Yeah, so rest 2, strike 2. And Lay of Twilight. During your turn, you may discard this skill for you and nearby heroes to collectively discard up to 4 face down damage and fear. It's got a success on it, and she has 2 copies of it. And I think that this matters a lot. If you're playing her as a musician, it's a song. Any favorites here?
I mean, I'm calling it right now. The Child of the Loon is the best card in the game. It's so good.
Ooh, better than Keen Eye that extends Legolas's range?
I think so, because it interrupts enemy movement and stuns a whole group.
Yeah.
So like, not only are you striking for 4, just like quick strike, this guy just walked in, but you're also preventing any damage that could befall you. I mean, it's so good.
Yeah. It's great. And it is a card that you could, the complaint you could have about it is that it can be a little bit of a niche situation. Sometimes the enemies don't decide to come for you, and it might sit in play for a long time, but it's a fail card. So like you're kind of okay with it sitting in play until its niche situation comes up. And then when it does come up, bam, you might as well just like win the scenario and set up the next one.
You're just the best.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. And then Lay of Twilight kind of sets her up as she's not only an inspiration dealer, she's a healer,
He's a hero.
right?
Absolutely, and a really effective one.
Yeah, one card to heal your team by up to 4
Yeah.
is real good. Yeah.
You don't focus it on. It's not just like you choose a nearby hero. It's like collectively, everyone
Yes.
who's nearby can just be like, "Oh, I'll lose one. I'll take one away."
Yep. And since it's damage or fear, you can target or you can focus on whatever people are closest to hitting a last stand on. And yeah, super strong.
Yep. The only thing that's bad about it is face down, but lots of stuff ends up face down.
Yeah, most of the time your cards are sitting there face down, right?
Mhm.
We can discuss it if we do a video where like this is where we go through all the fear and damage cards.
Oh,
Best
God.
ones.
I don't think anyone would want to watch.
Someday. Hey, don't let us know in the YouTube comments if you want a deep dive into fear and damage. No,
And maybe like in that video, we'll also go through every weakness card and just say the name and show the art.
yeah, okay. You're onto something. All right. Hey, the internet craves content, Kyle. I know you're new to the channel. I know you're new to the channel, but if there's one thing you'll learn, it's that people will watch anything.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I'm just I was kidding. This channel is carefully planned and curated to bring you only the best in tabletop gaming content.
But
all right. Before we dwell on that any longer, give us the first few musician cards.
Yeah, of course. Endless Melody is our first musician card. It starts in play because it's the number 1.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of your turn, you may discard the skill to prepare a song skill from your discard pile. If you do, gain 1 inspiration. And then she also has 2 copies of Traveling Song.
Hey, are these songs?
These are both songs.
Traveling songs are songs. All right.
Yeah, go figure. When you move into a space, you may discard the skill for you and up to 2 nearby heroes to gain 1 inspiration.
It's so good.
So
These
good.
are so good.
This is
Traveling
the best.
Song deals out if you're in at least a 3-player game as much as 3 inspiration for 1 card.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be timed when you move, so it's you can line, you don't have to like game it so that at the start of your turn you're adjacent to 2 people. You can move right up to them and sing them your Traveling Song. And then you just discard an Endless Melody at the end of your turn to prep it from your discard pile and do it again.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so good.
Endless Melody is one of my favorite cards that starts in play just because it's so good.
Yeah, it's a little weird of an effect to start and play, I guess, because it's like prep a song from your discard pile is not like an immediately it doesn't like it's not a game plan in itself, right? So it is a little odd there, but it's not weak.
Oh no. And the better song she has in her deck, the more powerful that first turn can be.
True. And importantly, my example there was like you just discarded Traveling Song for its effect and can prep it again. But you don't have to have used that song from play. You just have to have drawn it in a test.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll 2 spirit tests and drawing 8 cards in the round, and then look, every song's in my discard.
Yeah. And then that Lay of Twilight, her insane healing card, also a song.
Yep. So it turns out real good.
Yeah.
Elena's a winner so far.
I'm very pleased to be so positive on a character after I spent 10 minutes just shitting all over Aragorn.
Very true.
I'm not that negative a person. All right. The 3 XP musician cards are Word of Peace, not a song, just knowledge. When you or a nearby hero tests Wisdom, you may discard this skill to add 1 success and scout 1, and it has rest 2. Song of Mocking. During your turn, you may discard this card to apply stun to an enemy in your space. If you do, 1 nearby hero gains 1 inspiration. And a Bit of Nonsense. During your turn, you may discard this skill for you and nearby heroes to collectively discard up to 3 face down fear. And it has hide. Those latter 2, I don't think I said. Song of Mocking and a Bit of Nonsense are songs.
Mm-hmm.
These cards are also mostly great.
Yep. Like
Yeah.
Song of Mocking can get you out of any situation.
Yeah, just at any point during your turn, apply stun to an enemy in your space. So if you're trying to move out of that space, now you can. If you just don't want it to attack in the shadow phase, no, it won't. If you want to set up your team to just wail on it and not take counter attacks, you've done that.
There you go.
It's so good.
Yep.
It's actually probably one of the only 3 experience cards that I will like gladly have in my deck, even though I have enough XP to do other things instead.
Yeah, I played Elena, and I don't think that really left my deck. That Song of Mocking is fantastic.
And then a bit of nonsense is just fear healing.
Yep,
but is still real good.
It's not bad. I feel like you play a bit of nonsense if you're not playing Elena because of her other song. That's just
she does. She does have those 2 Lay of Twilights that are. I'm trying to see if there's anything that this has over that. Is this just strictly worse? Well, it has hide on it. No, there's no upside. It's not like Lay of Twilight is on your space or anything. It is just a worse Lay of Twilight. That is true.
Yeah. So good in a different bard, but maybe not Elena.
Fair point. All right, what are the 7s?
All right, 7s all have fate icons. Endless Wonder. When you prepare a song skill, gain 1 inspiration. When you would gain inspiration, you may give it to a nearby hero instead. It also has rest 2. During Song is a song.
Oh yeah.
During your turn, you may discard the skill for you and nearby heroes to collectively flip up to 4 fear face down. Then you become determined. It also has guard 2. Lay of Nimandrel, song. During your turn, you may discard the skill for you and nearby heroes to collectively discard up to 4 face down damage. And Burst into Song is a song and an aid. After a nearby hero suffers damage, you may discard the skill for you and that hero to each become emboldened or determined.
So I think that this is maybe the weakest like set of cards we've seen yet, except for Endless Wonder.
Endless Wonder is the most powerful level 7 in Musician by far. You're
prepping lots of song skills, sometimes even from your discard pile, and gaining inspiration, and then that inspiration and any other inspiration you gain can be distributed as needed to your team.
Yep.
It's bonkers. And
very good.
And it helps you. You might give away that inspiration to keep your inspiration at 0, so your harp gives you 1, right? Like it lets you manipulate the situation for your harp. It's so good. These other cards are healing mostly. I don't have much to say about them.
Nope. I think Burst into Song is probably the second best, just because it'll trigger occasionally and it allows you to grab a couple boons for you and your friend.
Yeah, is a couple boons, especially when one of them is emboldened, worth 7 XP?
Probably not. No, I mean it's instead of I don't know, something else that's bad.
Yeah, that's true. All right. That brings us to the 12s. They both have successes, both songs. You've got the Crescendo of Dawn, which says you and nearby heroes ignore darkness and add smite to each of your attacks. At the end of the shadow phase, discard this skill and gain 1 inspiration. And Tale of Tinuviel says during your turn, you may discard this skill for you and up to 2 nearby heroes to each discard 1 damage or 1 fear, then you scout 3. Where are you on these?
I'm pretty lukewarm on these. I think they're not great. I think they're worth their success.
Yeah. If you like success cards that don't tempt you to prep them all that often, you've got some more of them here.
Yep.
I do think it's funny. I think all the cards we were really excited about were really front loaded in Musician and in Elena. But the one thing I'll say about Crescendo of Dawn is that Smite is hard to come by.
Yep.
And late, at least late in the core campaign, is you'll be wishing you had it more than you do have it.
Yeah, any kind of nasty magical creatures that have, that magical barrier, Smite does a lot of work.
Yeah, and this so like it gives it to you and nearby heroes. All get smite to all of your attacks, but it only lasts one round, so it's very situational. But I think most of the time it's worth taking late in the campaign.
So yeah, I think the nice thing about Crescendo of Dawn is actually the fact that it only lasts one round, and because you're preparing a song which can combo with her, Endless Wonder. After you prepare a song, you're getting inspiration, and then at the end of the Shadow phase, it gets discarded, and you gain an inspiration, and then it's shuffled back into your deck for the next rally phase. So either you could prepare it again, or you just have that success ready again. So it discards itself at a good time.
That's true. Yeah, like I think it's a good card. It's not exciting. It's not gonna transform your team's strategy.
Nope. But it's song traded, so it's pretty easy to get out.
True. Yeah, and really, that the more songs you can put in your deck, the better. if you're going full on musician.
Yep.
You made it. Welcome back. That was our enjoying that whiskey.
I had to get past the Aragorn of it all, but
yeah. That Elena aftertaste though.
We said one take.
Anyway, thank you for watching. We'll be back soon with the final third of the heroes from the core box.
We're almost there.
And then the Shattered Paths. Is that the name of it? Shattered Paths expansion?
Yes.
After that? Yes. That's
almost
the one.
positive.
That's the one. So we got a few more weeks of hardcore card talk coming your way.
Can't wait.
Till then, be optimal.